4 years ago, I made one of the scariest decisions of my entire life. I stepped away from behind the chair. My business was booming. My books were completely full, and money was doing great behind the chair. I was hitting some of my biggest months I had ever hit inside of this industry. But deep down, I was exhausted. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy. And I knew that something had to change if I wanted to hit big numbers and do big things. I couldn't operate the same way that I used to. I knew deep down that if I wanted to grow something bigger, I had to stop doing it all. Sometimes you have to quit really cool money making things in order to get to where you actually want to be. At this time, I was running an education company. I had just started LG Education and it took off really fast. I was running a salon with a lot of girls in salon lace at the time. I was just had another baby. I was and still am a wife. Just all the things. It was a lot. This past year in 2025, we hit our first $1 million year. And hitting the $1 million mark and milestone, you guys, that's a big deal. Huge deal. If you would have asked me 4 years ago, I would have said that's impossible. Like, I cannot imagine getting past that milestone or getting to that milestone. You start to think differently. You operate differently. And I don't say this to brag. I tell you this to prove what's possible when you start quitting the things that keep you stuck. So today, I want to share with you the 5 things I quit to hit my first million. Recently, I attended a 2-day in-person mastermind event called the Millie Club. I was a part of a 6-month cohort inside of one of Amy Porterfield's coaching programs. And we just wrapped it up at the end of October. So just got done with it. And inside of these 2 days, and this was mid-October that I went to Nashville, she shared something that like hit me, and I want to share it with you guys because it was so good and it really made me stop in my tracks and think, where's my energy going and what do I need to stop doing right now? So the whole theme of this 2-day event was 10x your growth, 10x your profit margin, 10x this, 10x this. It's like 10x is easier than 2x. And so Amy told me to grow 10x, you must release 80% of what's only getting you 2x. And I thought about that for a minute. I was like, how many projects, things are we doing inside LG Education that we're pouring a lot of time and energy into that are only producing 2x results? And that's when I was like, oh, baby, it's time to quit even more things. I mean, we've quit a lot inside of my business, the last 4 years, but it really made me stop for a second and think. And so I want to ask you guys to grow 10x. You must release 80% of what's only getting you 2x. All right. So let's just start with number 1. What did I quit to hit that $1 million mark? First thing was quitting hair. I quit doing hair. I quit being the service provider behind the chair. Okay. In November of 2021, after having my baby girl, Hallie, I made the terrifying decision to step away from behind the chair and to not come back after maternity leave. I went on maternity leave and that was it. I never went back. Okay. I had a full extension clientele at this moment. And like I said, I was making really good money. And I gifted, handed over years of hard work and marketing efforts to 2 stylists in my salon. I said, here you go. Here's all my clients. It was terrifying. I second guessed. I was like, can I make this in the salon? Is LG Education going to continue to thrive? It was one of the most terrifying decisions of my life, but the most rewarding at the same time. And I'm so glad I made that decision. Nothing in my heart, soul, mind, anything has ever regretted that decision. Not one time have I looked back and saying, man, I regret that. Never. I miss doing hair. People ask me that all the time. They're like, do you miss it? Do you miss that? I miss my guest and I miss the people interaction, but I don't miss the art of doing hair, the skill. I don't think I was really that good at it. I mean, I was good, but I really think there are so many other people that are more talented and better hairstylists than I ever was behind the chair. So I miss the people. That's really what I miss the most. At this time, I was stretched way too thin. I was running the salon, I was running my education company, I was trying to be a good wife, a new mom to two littles, and something had to give. And I said, that's it. If something has to give, it is me stepping away from behind the chair. It is me stopping doing hair to pour into my team, to be the CEO and to truly lead a profitable salon. Okay. Handing over my entire clientele to two stylists was hard AF, but it was also strategic AF. That single decision tripled our salon's revenue and profit margin over the next 2 years. I finally had the time to lead, to train, and to build something bigger than me. It truly is a huge reason why we grew so much in 2022, 2023, and 2024. We boomed inside of my business in that salon in those 3 years. Huge. Do I think it's coincidence? No. It absolutely has to do with strategy and me giving myself, my space, my whole clientele up. I know for a fact I wouldn't have been able to do what I did and grow the company and pour into my team as much as I did if I was still working behind the chair. Okay. You are not giving up success. You are making space for more of it. So I want to ask you, what part of your business are you white knuckling that's quietly keeping you stuck? Ask yourself this. Okay. Number two, I quit doing it all myself. You guys know I talk about this a lot as hiring and delegating and all the things. Hiring help and removing yourself as the bottleneck. A lot of salon owners are the bottleneck in their business. And if you're like, "Ooh, Lacey, you're talking to me right now," I want you to listen up. For years, I told myself, it's faster if I just do it myself. No one can do it as good as I can. Sound familiar? I was the stylist, the bookkeeper, the marketer, the salon manager. Everything ran through me until I realized I was that bottleneck. I couldn't do it anymore. I didn't want to be up at the salon on Sundays cleaning. I finally hired help. I finally hired an assistant. And in the past recent 4 years with hitting the million mark, is I finally hired a full-time employee. Okay. And for the first time, I felt like I could breathe. And it wasn't perfect. It's still not perfect. It's probably never going to be perfect. I've hired a lot of wrong fits. I've hired a lot of assistants that did not align with our core values, our mission, and were just not good fits for our culture. But you get better every single time you hire. And the truth is, doing it all yourself keeps you small. Hiring help is what will allow you to grow. Okay. So for some of you, it's hiring an assistant right now. If you are the bottleneck in your business and you are tired of doing it all, it might be time to hire an assistant. So I want to ask you, what task are you still doing yourself, even though deep down you know it's costing you growth? Maybe you jot that down. What are some of those tasks? All right. Number three, and this one's a big one. I quit avoiding the numbers. I quit avoiding my numbers. I used to tell myself, I'm just not a numbers girl. I literally told myself this. I suck. I don't like spreadsheets. I'm not good at math, yada, yada, yada. Looking at spreadsheets gave me anxiety because deep down I knew they weren't good. I knew my numbers weren't good. So I avoided them, which made things worse. And I finally decided to face it head on. I said, how am I going to get better at something? By doing it over and over and over. And repetition makes you better. If you suck at numbers and you don't know where you're at, doing it, facing it head on is the only way that you're going to get better at it. I started tracking everything from revenue to profit to extension guests to retail, pre-books, even social stats. I created a tracker that I used behind the chair and my entire team used. And now LG Education, all of our students are using our trackers to track the data. We have to know where we are at right now. I hired a bookkeeper, started meeting with him bi-weekly. and had my P&L sent to me by the 5th of every month so I could look at our numbers, look at every expense that went through the business, look at what our profit margin was. I blocked time to actually look and analyze the data. And when I stopped avoiding the numbers, I started understanding the story behind my business, because your numbers tell a story. All right. Gut feelings will get you started, can get you started, but data will take you further. Honestly, if where you got to where you are right now by avoiding the numbers, I'm going to say half of it is luck. You've got to where you are today by being damn lucky. But if you want to reach another level of success, you cannot avoid your numbers. You have to show up and you have to know your numbers. You have to face it. You have to be in your numbers at all times, or you will never reach that next level of success. Stop looking at total revenue. I want you to look at profit margin. Okay? That is where success lies right there. So I'm going to ask you, what number are you avoiding right now? And what story might it be trying to tell you? Or are you just avoiding all your numbers? That's probably true for a lot of hairstylists and salon owners. And you say, Lacey, I really don't know my numbers. I'm not spending time diving into my books. That's okay. It might be time to hire help in this category and get yourself a bookkeeper. Okay. Number 4, this one's kind of funny and counterintuitive to what we just talked about, but I quit holding on to my money too tightly. Strategic investing in yourself, your team, and outside industries. I would love for you to start getting inspo from outside industries and step out from the beauty industry. Stop seeking education just in the beauty industry. Seek outside education, because there's other industries doing it better than we're doing it right now, so we can learn from them. For a long time, I was terrified to spend money. Inside my partnership, terrified. Starting LG Education, terrified. I held on to my money tight. I was like, okay, I've got to have money as a back reserve. I need to be able to pay me. Now I'm hiring on a full-time employee. I got to make payroll. Like, I held on to it pretty damn tight until I didn't. Okay. I held on to every dollar because I thought that's what being smart in business looked like. But to grow, I finally learned I had to invest. So I started joining masterminds, coaching programs, courses, communities outside the beauty industry, and I started investing in my team. I invested in ads, and those investments stretched me in the best ways possible. I got in rooms that made me hella nervous, like the Millie Club, and I met women who think bigger, bigger than what I think. And I think pretty big. I dream big. These women are extraordinary. That proximity changed my business and my mindset. When you surround yourself with people who already have the results you want and they're willing to show you how they got them, that's where the real transformation happens. And I'm going to say this again because I think it's so important. When you surround yourself with people who already have the results that you want and they're willing to show you how they got them, that's where the magic happens. Okay? Get in rooms with people that you aspire to be like. Okay? Huge. Investing isn't risky when it's intentional. It's how you grow faster. So I want to ask, whose advice are you trusting right now? And do they actually have the results you want? Someone that has been where you want to go. Are you trusting someone right now? Are they the right person and the right fit to be a coach, guidance, mentor? Some of you are saying, yes, absolutely. I'm in some great programs. And some of you guys might be saying, I don't have a coach, or I'm not putting myself in those rooms that I should be in. Okay. Number 5, last but not least, I quit hiring everyone. A coach once told me, hire anyone with a heartbeat, Lacey. Just get a warm body in here. And let me tell you, that mindset not almost wrecked my culture, it did wreck my culture. I was hiring fast, not smart. I wanted warm bodies and just cosmetologists inside of my salon. instead of the right people in the right seats. So I stopped hiring reactively and started hiring strategically. I slowed down. I created a strategic process that we teach now inside LG Education on how to recruit and hire and interview. I started paying more attention to growth, mindseted, personality fits, and stylists that aligned with our culture. People that I loved. And I said, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no when it comes to hiring. Because the wrong person in your salon will cost you way more than an empty chair ever will. And I'm going to say that again, because the wrong person in your salon will cost you way more than an empty chair ever will. Who on your team truly aligns with where you're headed right now? Answer that out loud. If you're driving in the car, who on your team, you should have some names come into your head right now, aligns with where you're heading and who might be holding your culture back. Oh, and I bet you've got some names for that one too. Okay. So quit hiring everyone. Be strategic AF when it comes to hiring. Slow down that process. Interview them time after time after time again until you're like, this is the right person and they are jumping on ship with me and they know where we're heading and they want to come with us. They want to build something bigger. They are growth oriented. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast right now if you were not growth oriented too. Okay. You might be holding on to things that are quietly keeping you stuck, and I bet you are holding on to a couple. Can you figure out and name what some of those things are that are quietly keeping you stuck right now? I truly believe that less is more. Can you see how I did less to make more? And I wanted to share with you what this looked like. There is no way that I could have hit that million mark without letting go of some of these things, if not all of them, that made a huge change in the trajectory that my career and my business went. I thought, man, doing $25,000 a month behind the chair, I've hit the jackpot. I had a pretty beautiful life, working 3 days behind the chair, maybe a fourth every now and then for a new install. And I thought, I can't imagine making more money than this. But I wanted to build something bigger, and I wanted to impact more salon owners and artists around the world. So I had to give some things up. And giving up my entire clientele was one of them. And it was the most terrifying thing. And I'm so thankful and so glad I did it. All right. So, got some homework for you guys. I want you to choose one thing right now that you know you should let go of. Is this helping me grow or is it just keeping me safe? Ask yourself that. Is this helping me grow or is it just keeping me safe right now? Is it a 2x decision or a 10x decision, as my coach Amy would say? Okay, so choose one thing right now that you know you should let go of. Maybe it's a client you need to release. Maybe it's a system you've outgrown. Maybe it's your fear of money, of hiring someone or an assistant, or just being seen. You're scared to put yourself out there. Whatever it is, this is your permission slip to quit it on purpose and to be strategic when you do it. Because once you quit with intention, the coolest opportunities start to open up for you. And I believe that saying that when one door closes, another one opens. Okay. Second homework assignment, I want you to start a simple weekly CEO spreadsheet. So get in Google Sheets, call it CEO spreadsheet, track one number that you feel like you could move the needle if you focus on this one number and you start to see it increase. Okay. I want you to get intentional about increasing this one data point. After you do this, you can add more as you go, but let's baby steps. Let's start with one. I want you to start this today and check in on it every single week. Maybe it's daily sales. What are your daily sales inside of your salon? Maybe it's retail. Maybe it's new guest inquiries. Maybe it's your pre-book rate. There are so many things that you could track, but I want you to start with one. What's the one thing that you can start tracking every single day and week on your CEO spreadsheet? Okay. All right. If this hit home and you're like, Lacey, you're speaking to me right now and you're ready to build your systems, stronger systems, you're ready to hire, ready to train a team, start stepping into CEO role, maybe start slowing back from behind the chair. You need an assistant, you need a team, you need people that support your vision, that align with your vision. I would love to have you guys inside of LG Education. go grab our Ultimate Assistant guide. This is a guide that we have super easy to edit and make it your own by uploading your branding, your colors, your fonts, your photos, your salon name. It's basically a massive template that we have in Canva that is your assistant's roadmap. So I'm going to drop it below. I'm going to put a code for you guys to get $200 off this guide. So if you don't know where to start, you want to hire an assistant, start with this guide. If you want to hire in 2026, now is the time. So you've got at least, we're November right now. So 8 weeks to edit it. That gives you plenty of time, but you need to set yourself up for success. And if you're planning to hire in 2026, I would love for you guys to grab our guide. Okay. So we're going to put the link in the show notes to grab our Ultimate Assistant guide. You're going to get $200 off when you use the code 2025. So use the code 2025. We'll put that in the show notes as well, and go get our Ultimate Assistant guide. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today and always. If you tune into the podcast and if you guys enjoy the episodes, I would love for you to let me know. You guys can leave me a review. If you have any podcast topics that you want us to discuss in 2026, I'll put a link in the show notes for suggestions. We love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you want and what you want to hear. So you guys can go fill out that form and just write a quick note on saying, Lacey, I want to hear you talk about this. Or what do you think about this? Also, on our weekly newsletter on Fridays, what we've started doing is we have reader submissions. You have a chance to ask me a question every single week inside of our weekly newsletter, and I'm answering it in the weekly newsletter every single week now. So we're starting something brand new in the weekly newsletter that goes out every Friday morning, is reader submissions. So go check out the newsletter. I know you're getting it. It might be going to junk or spam, so check that as well. If you interact, if you email us back, if you click on the links, if you do a suggestion in the reader submission, it will start coming into your mailbox, but we got to get it out of your junk and spam. So start interacting with us. Okay, I think that's it. So much love to you guys. I hope you guys have an incredible week, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place, right here on the Level Up with Lacey podcast. Bye, guys.